That was crazy.
Yeah, so that was a Zoom bomb, unfortunately. But good job ending the meeting quickly.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
All right, it says Miranda, do we trust it?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, we got us 1, 2, 3, 4. We're all back. Never seen that happen before. I was like, oh, what do I do? I tried to mute them and they unmuted themselves again. And
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
somehow there's something that people can do where they just take over the audio. You know, it's almost like they become the host, and the only way to fix it is just to end the meeting.
well, thank you
So-
all for coming back.
Good job
Thanks for
doing that quick.
yeah.
You're cool
It's
under
like, I hope
pressure,
she can
Lynn.
hear me. Right. I didn't see anything. I started hearing just strange sounds. And when you
Yeah.
said there was somebody coming in that nobody knew, it just seemed odd so late in the meeting. But
Yeah.
good job.
Well, Colin had a weird name, so I figured maybe it was one of their friends coming on or something.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
So we were discussing the mountain bike camp. I like the idea, what we were discussing of getting in a couple weekend days next year early.
You mean that's fall?
If we can do this fall, maybe.
Or are you talking about next year?
I was talking about next year because I just didn't know how feasible it was to do it this year.
Uh-huh.
So if we could do it this year, run a couple of one-day programs or, you know, two Saturdays or something, great. But a lot of sports are starting up and everything.
Right.
I think introducing it, I guess part of my idea is introducing it at the one day at $65 doesn't sound as overwhelming as when you're saying 4 days for $260. And this will give them an idea of their program, and when it comes around next year, they'll either like it or not.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I need to nail down one of the schools. And I'll reach out to South Kent again to see if I can get some communication going to use their.
Sorry.
So, yeah, so I think, you know, that's the piece, right? We need to get them on board.
I was gonna say maybe we ask them to do it, because didn't he say he already has a good relationship with Andrew?
Yeah, it sounds like it, yeah.
And maybe since Andrew already knows about them, have Colin or Chris reach out to him. But I think we should reach back out to Colin and ask about doing a one-day program if he has any weekend days available.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else like that idea?
I love the idea. I just think that we may need to defer a little bit more to the school that we partner with and see when they have availability for a one-day program, and then offer those dates to Colin. Only because we're, you know, using their facilities.
Well, if Kent School is going to charge us and Colin has a good relationship with South Kent School, so when Abigail or when Miranda reaches out to him, maybe ask if he talks to them or if we do.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be best for him to do the legwork if at all possible.
Or at least reach out to Andrew and say, or whomever he's talking to at the school, to say,
Yeah.
do you have some days available?
Yep, I can certainly gather a little bit more information and see how we want to move forward.
So can we make a motion for that? That way you can, if we can figure it out, we can go forward without having to wait for September.
So is the motion to move ahead with the mountain bike camp one day fall offering, and to have Colin of the mountain bike camp reach out to both the South Kent School and the Kent School to see what their availability is for hosting this one-day event.
That's a good start. We'll do that for the first one. No, that's great.
Okay.
That covers that. I think it should be made in 2 different motions. Can I have a second for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Julia. Any more discussion on it? This again is just for the one-day program this fall. All right. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
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 I'm guessing John's gonna be an aye. Even if he's not. Any opposed? Okay, thank you. The next motion I would suggest is to get on their schedule for next year before they book up, because we won't have, well, when's our next meeting? We may not have time and they'll be already full.
I think the next one is September 20th. Let me just, yeah, 20th.
Okay,
I think that's advantageous, Lynn, to go ahead and move forward with this and get on their schedule. And, you know, reiterate the offer for the 10% discount.
and that 10% would be our fee so that we didn't have to charge more. We go back up
Which
to
is
the
great.
60. Yeah, I don't think it sounds bad when you think about it as 65 a day, but when you say the 260, it sounds a little bit scarier. That's me personally. I'd pay $65 to go get my kids out of the house for 3 hours mountain biking.
Okay, so
he
Lynn,
does it for
did you,
free.
I'm sorry, did you make that motion? Who's?
I
who's-
can if nobody else wants to make it. So I will make that motion to get Kent Park and Rec on the mountain bike camp schedule for 2022.
Second.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
Any more discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. All right, where are we on this thing? All right, let's go. Quick update on the director search committee. We had a meeting. We talked about a few different things, and including the job description, and Julia took that on and made some changes, and we will have a meeting on Wednesday night and our second meeting and go from there. We're discussing questions to ask, changing up the job description, not changing it, but cleaning it up. And can't remember what else was on there. Any questions on that? Okay, moving along. We got a bit to talk about here. Parks, projects, pool opening, seasonal worker, Woodchucks, and Emery Park aerator. So I'll start with the pool opening, and I'm gonna actually work that in with the next one with the lifeguard class. So I worked my butt off trying to get this pool open. I've worked hard working with David to get the lifeguard instructor class, which was successful, but unfortunately, our objective of being able to hire some of those people did not work out. They actually all had other jobs, and one is in Canaan, one was a recertification. Honestly, one I did not check into, but the other other four all had jobs lined up. So that kind of put another damper on it. And then we got the lovely notice that the aerator, after I went up there and spent hours skimming that gunk off the top of the pool, we went to put the aerator, or not we, but Rick went to put the aerator in, and evidently it is broke, and we will need to get a new aerator. So we will need to vote on that tonight to get a new aerator rather than just fixing the motor. It's old, and it's really not worth just replacing the motor or anything. I think at this point we've got its life use out of it, and we should get a new one. So with that all being said, I hate to say it, but at this time of the year, the pool is just not going to get open this year.
What's the cost of a new one, Lynn?
Miranda, will you-
Well, when you purchased it in 2016, does that sound about right?
Yeah,
Oh,
5
was it?
years. Yeah, 5 years, yeah.
I thought it was longer. It,
I think it was 16. I just looked at the invoice. So,
Okay.
it was, I want to say, and I don't have it with me, but it was 1355 or something like that.
mhm.
13,000 or 1,300?
13.
1300.
Just checking.
And so I had called and talked to the company. And so, yes, we could purchase a new one, and obviously that's up to you guys. So you can either, if we wanted to go to the repair route, I'm just giving you the information, you can either have the parts shipped to you, swap them out, and that's that. Or you can have, and since it's looking like the pool is probably not going to be opened, then we have time, and you can ship the whole thing to them. They will swap out the parts and make sure it's running, and then they'll send the whole thing back to you. And that, obviously would be cheaper than replacing the whole thing, but then, it's just, you're still using some of the old parts, the float and whatever. I'm not an expert on aerators, so I don't know exactly what all the different parts are, but the main components are the motor and the cord and all that. And so those are the two options. Since we have some time, I think if you guys wanted to go with the just repair route, it would make sense to send the whole thing in, and then they're responsible for fixing it. And then we can make sure that, that then at least it comes back, we know it would be working. Whereas,
Warranted.
yeah, so whoever, I certainly can't repair it. Whoever we get to repair it here, obviously, hopefully they're knowledgeable, but then if it doesn't work, then it's on us again. So
Do you have
that's
any costs on those repairs, sending it in?
so Rick had initially called and he kind of priced it out, and it sounded like it was like $730 to have the parts shipped or to replace the parts. I don't know exactly, and I can certainly find out pretty quickly if we want to send it in, how much that would be. But unfortunately, we just missed the warranty window. I think, we by a couple months. I asked, and he said, they could maybe help us out with a slight discount, but we weren't getting a new aerator out of it.
The 730 is if we fix it.
I think so, yeah, but I would probably want to double check that before I said that, certainly.
Because if we paid 1,300, that's 730 if we fix it. So if we send it out to them, we have the cost of the shipping.
Shipping up.
We have their repair bill, and then whatever it costs to ship back.
So,
But we still have to pay.
well,
somebody
okay,
to
so
fix the
I'm sorry,
heater.
when I talked to them, because I was like, well, what's the advantage of just having it us repair? So really, I don't think they charge us for the labor. So I said, what's the difference? What's the price difference? And he said, basically, it's just more shipping because you're sending the whole thing to them. And so you're paying more in shipping. So you're just saving a little bit. And obviously you still have to buy the parts from them, but I don't think, and I will certainly double check, but I don't think that they charge for labor. So it would just be the cost of the extra shipping.
What kind of a guarantee would they give us after the repair?
Again, I'm not certain
Okay.
on that. I would,
No problem.
I can send an inquiry into that.
I think we have the 7:30 if we fix it, plus whatever we have to pay for the person to fix it here. And it's not warranted by the company to
Right.
weigh against. So we need to know the price difference in mailing it to them, shipping it to them and having them fix it. We need a
Mhm.
number for that. Thankfully, we do have time.
Hey, Lynn,
Yeah.
is there some possible value to calling like one of the local pool companies? Even, I know we have a
Like
couple
Matt,
down, yeah, to just say, can you come take a look at it? And I think that wouldn't cost us any shipping of and being out of it, and might make sense to have somebody local just who's a pool person to
Yep.
to say, yeah, this is worth sending away for repair, or
or maybe Matt
no,
can fix it.
right, or he could fix it, or he could, in his professional opinion, say, you're crazy, I can't fix it. You're crazy to, spend any money shipping it off for them to have it back because it's really at the end of its life anyway.
Mhm.
So it might,
I like,
and that could cost, $100. It could
Mhm.
cost less than that. So just a thought.
I think that's a good idea. I can do that. I'm friends with them. You guys want me to go that way?
Yep.
That sounds good.
All right, I'll reach out to them and see if I can maybe meet him up there one day, or John can.
So, and
Sounds good.
Rick has told you exactly when it's plugged into the ground fault, it just blows and he's plugged it into multiple outlets and it blows it every time. So it's not
Oh, in the
just,
breaker?
yeah. I'm not an expert on electrical stuff. You're probably more knowledgeable of that, but you could double check with Rick. But it sounds like wherever he plugged it into multiple different outlets, and it wasn't just at the pool.
Okay. I'll ask hubby what that means. All right, fair enough. Cool. What else was under there?
The woodchucks.
From what I've heard is that Bob has trapped a few.
Yes, he says he's trapped some, but he's just getting overrun now. They've reproduced, and there's many.
Does he know where they're coming from? Like, is there a hole in the middle of the field, or are
So
they
it sounds
up in
like
the
there's some
brush?
brush, kind of in between where his house is. I'm just trying to think of my directions here.
Yeah, it's usually by the drain there, when it goes
Okay.
into the Kent fields there. It usually drains in. We always have a problem there, but I didn't think it was that bad, so.
And when he came in, he seemed to think like if we just cleared out some of the brush in there, that would help because they would have nowhere to go, but I don't.
Yeah, he's right, because like the last time we tried to clean that out, we cleaned it out pretty good. It worked out well. They didn't come back. So yeah, I think that needs to be done by the public works in town here. Yep.
Yeah,
How
I
does
think,
that happen?
yeah, I think that it would be more appropriate to contract with somebody who does that. Like clearing,
woodchuck removal or just clearing the brush?
probably start with the clearing the brush if we think that changing the habitat.
Yes, it usually works that way. Yep.
Let's send Diane out there to find the hole.
Well, she found the fox one time. Yeah, but those drains are, yeah, they've been neglected for a while. So yeah, they definitely need a good cleaning out. Oh,
I mean, do you want me to contact a few companies and get some quotes? What's,
I think you ought to go to Public Works first, get them to clean it out. See if that does.
well,
I know that they have very, very full plates. So it's a proper 12-month out of the year stream? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Um, I don't know if there's, maybe talk to Lynn Werner or Donna Hayes at Inland Wetlands. I don't know if there's like parameters that you need to stay in because it's a water course.
Sure, Rick knows all those regulations.
Yeah, we can talk to Rick, Miranda, when you're in the office on Monday.
okay.
And then we'll figure out what the proper, I don't want to, be out of bounds as far as just going and having you guys get somebody to clear out some brush if there's got to be some permitting or something.
All right, so we're gonna start with Rick and Donna to see if there's any rules or whatever, and we're gonna try to go the cleaning the brush route. Change the
So-
habitat and see if they leave. He's not gonna wanna. Are we gonna wanna wait and see?
He seemed pretty frustrated. It sounds like
Are
there's
they
a
eating
lot.
his vegetation or his plants or something, or they just, what are they doing to irritate him?
They dig around the
Okay.
house, under the deck, or I don't know if he's got a deck, but it sounds like they're getting in and around the house. And just being a general nuisance, whatever woodchucks do. I don't know if he has a garden or not.
I don't think he has one there. Maybe flowers or something if they're getting those. All right, I have no idea what to do with chipmunks. I started reading about it. I said, put dog hair out, pee around it, bomb them, shoot them out. Yeah, they're not gonna go for that.
Yeah, I think maybe we start with the brush removal, see if that helps, and then if not, then maybe we look at having somebody come in and trap them professionally. I don't know, but maybe we start with brush removal first, see if that helps.
All right,
Didn't we, oh, that was beavers that we killed at Emery? Didn't we? Yeah, okay.
removed. Any projects going on there that we need to discuss?
We still haven't had that culvert fixed yet, and it's getting dangerous now. So from what I'm told, so I think that should be on. We've already passed that on, hopefully, to the town works, but.
At Kent Common, John?
Yep.
I'll mention it again to Rick. I know it was definitely on his list.
For this year. The other thing too is,
Yeah. So,
I'm getting calls at home here. I don't mind it. I love it, but apparently we need to spray some of the vinegar that he's got as well, Gene. We used to do that. Well, I used to do that all the time. to keep the burrs down, but unfortunately, that seems to be neglected. And it's a lot of weed whacking that needs to be done as well, because the parks are looking really bad out there. So, I mean, if he has any spare time, I mean, I would, put somebody on weed whacking, and he's got that articulated brush mower that could do a lot of the work. So,
So
I mean,
you've been getting
I-
calls from residents?
yeah.
Okay, so if
Well,
you
the
can
kids are,
pass
you know,
them
the parents are
along to
calling-
him.
I mean, the parents always complain about the burrs every year. So I get out there as fast as I can, but I mean, I'm not there anymore doing all that stuff because I'm laid up in the house. So, I mean, it's just a matter of somebody has to pick up the slack.
I mean, does
Right,
it make
so-
sense? I'm sorry, does it make sense to put like a laundry list of things together, with the brush
Oh, we already
removal?
did. We already did.
I know, so does it make sense to look at getting a quote to have some of that work done? Like you have a landscape company come in and do it if we're not getting results and Public Works is busy and they just can't get out there to do it. I mean, does that make sense to at least, or we have some money in the budget for maintenance for the parks? Does it make sense to just get some quotes to see what we can have done and just do it and have it done?
And the
Yeah, that's
vinegar
fine.
doesn't
Yeah.
really get rid of the burrs.
No, but if you have somebody that's there part-time or full-time, whatever, and they're using the vinegar on the trail, I mean, even the walkway at Commons Park is bad. I mean, it's full of grass now. I mean, it's, and then we have a lot of erosion up there apparently, from what Diane was telling me, from the hillside on washing out all the time, even after they put down the new rock, the gravel mix, and it's not working out. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
mean,
just-
but I mean, that's something we got to talk about from now or until we can do something. I mean, we need either a part-time person or we need somebody to just take care of all that stuff. It's just, I mean, I put a lot of
Yeah,
effort in that over the last 8 years. And it's a shame, from what the pictures I saw that somebody sent me, that it's just gone to hell. So,
Yeah, and I think that John, you and Diane really made an effort to collect all of the maintenance needs for both of those parks. And I don't know what it takes for us as a commission to make a move to hire somebody to maintain the parks, even if it's a seasonal thing, just
Yeah.
something so we can start getting some momentum with
yeah, it's only a
park
seasonal.
maintenance.
Yeah, it's only a seasonal thing. I mean, I don't think any lawn company or contractor like that would be involved into something that's just only seasonal, but you never know.
Yeah,
it's
I'm just
something
saying now, to come in and sweep and clean it up for the fall and then just have it done and put a couple quotes together to do that. And then we have a conversation again,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
whoever has a conversation again in the spring about
Yeah.
how we're maintaining the parks in the long term.
I would be for hiring a part-time worker to do these things, even if that is a landscape company, because whomever we hire will need to have their own equipment. So if we started talking about it now and get on to a landscape company's, it doesn't have to be a landscape company. It could just be a jobs person or a single person that owns a small company. Somebody to get in there and help us do these things, so we're not laying all this stuff on Public Works or waiting for them to have time to do it. Not
agree
things
with
like
you.
not like fixing the drain, but going over and actually, taking these burrs out and not just spraying them, getting down to the weeds and getting them out of there for real. And I
Yeah.
think that, I have a couple of people in mind, but I think that would get things done more quickly. And
I agree with you. And I think that the difference between hardcore infrastructure like the culvert,
Yeah.
we need Public Works to do that for us, but
right.
Yeah.
But even if that part-time person, maybe we take away some of the mowing from Ricky's guys, or that'll depend on the person, or do we just task them, just some things to think about. Do we just task them with I don't know, making sure there's no bees in the equipment and making sure that the equipment is good. And if they see the broken gate at Emery Park, they come and, report it and we can get it. Somebody that has is a jack of all trades type person.
They come through monthly, maybe.
Sounds like you guys are in the beginnings of a job description.
Yep,
I think.
basically, yep. A good 4 months out of the year anyhow.
Yeah, we've done a lot of legwork on this, so it would be
Yeah.
great to do it.
And
I'm
John,
very
if
sorry,
you, I know
team.
that
I have to get off this call. So I know without me, there's no longer a quorum. But I can't stay on any longer. So if there's a motion here with this maintenance, I'd love to try to make something happen there, but I'm gonna have to go after that.
I don't think we need to make a motion on that yet. We can start looking around. Miranda can start looking around if she has time, or anybody that has some suggestions, if you see somebody around town that
We could ask across the street at Kent Greenhouse. They have their own landscaping company now. We could start with them.
Yeah, and Miguel, the Rojas's that have a nice,
Right. Yep. Yeah.
they would be really great at that. I don't know, that's just off the top of my head. There's plenty of them that we could use.
Awesome.
So before you leave, Abigail, because we will have to close out this meeting when you
Yeah,
leave.
sorry.
That's all right. It's a 2-hour meeting already, so. I think the only thing that's serious on here is the after-school program, staffing and interviewing. Miranda we won't be able to get into too much detail, but she has a couple of people that we will be ready to interview, and we'll need a couple of volunteers to help with those interviews. She can get those set up and see who wants to join her.
I think in similar fashion, if you, Miranda, once you have the interviews set up, maybe send out an email to the commission and ask who's available.
Mhm.
And if no one's available, obviously we'd have to reschedule with the person, but hopefully out of the 8 of us. And how many commissioners per interview? Is it okay to have one, or do we want more than one?
I think it was usually the director and 2 to 3 commissioners. When we do this, like for the counselors, or that's what we usually do it for the counselors. Like for pool counselors.
Or I think, yeah, when we did
lifeguards.
that, it was like a set time. It's like, I don't know, like 5 o'clock
Mhm.
on a certain day. And then maybe whoever can do it can do it.
All right. Fall soccer's on its way. Parks Master Plan budget. The only thing if you look through the reports, Miranda has to sign off on the budget, on the financials for this year. So.
I guess, yeah, maybe if people look at it, if there's anything major that strikes you that we need to talk about, then we'll have to call a special meeting. But if there's nothing major in that, then I'll look at it. And
thank you for bringing that to our attention, because I don't think the fact that the director had to sign off on the financials was ever brought to our attention before. So that's interesting.
well, yeah, and I have no idea if that's a new thing or not. I don't know.
Probably not, but I appreciate knowing that, some of the things we didn't get to know.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to go.
I think that's all that,
Okay.
there's nothing else pressing on the agenda. So
All right,
with
thank
that,
you.
thank you, Abigail.
Yeah. Great meeting.
Yeah, great meeting tonight, guys. Good night.
So hang on, we will need, because we are not actually finishing the agenda, we will need a motion to adjourn at this point. So if I could please have that motion to adjourn at 9:07 p.m.
Make that motion.
Thank you, John. Julia, you want to second it?
I'll second it.
All right, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Then we will have to finish this at a later time. Again, nothing is totally pressing.
What you said, 9:07?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
All righty.
All right.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Bye.
Right.
Have a good night.
Yep, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night, everyone.
Hey, Lynn.
Yeah. You there?
Yeah,
Hang on.
how you, all right?
I'm here. All right, hold on, John.